y'all, welcome back to My Life in Albums, and I have the beautiful, the talented Cherye Altice here with us. This is a very, very special guest to me. This is my mother, y'all. Clap it up. This is my mom. And yes, so she is a writer. She has been published in the Sun magazine, and she has got some great projects coming out soon that we will detail later in the video. So, without further ado, let's get to picking. Alrighty. If you can't tell, she's a little bit nervous, but she is a natural storyteller. So, I'm excited to hear what she has to say. Alrighty, so the first one I've got here is Mariah Carey, Outside.
Oh my God,
Tell me about
a heavy one already. So that one, so Mariah Carey is biracial, and I am also. And I grew up in a family of all non-black people. And so just always feeling on the outside, like I didn't fit in at school. I went to like all white schools. My neighborhood, there were no black people in my neighborhood. There was nobody that looked like me in my family, in my school, anywhere. And so
And this was not a pro-black household
and
either.
it was not a pro-black household, exactly. The racism that most people would experience out in the world, I experienced inside, and more so, I would say, inside the home than I did outside. And so, yeah, I just always felt outside. And so years later, when I heard that song, it's talking about always being on the outside, kind of in this in-between place. So that song just really hit home. And then she is so, like, that's her passion, is to speak to the biracial people. You know, I've seen interviews with her. And so, yeah, that song just really hits home with me with my childhood.
Yeah. Yes. Beautiful, beautiful. Yes, being biracial, definitely.
And I was biracial, like, in the 80s. And so, like,
before it was cool.
It was exactly. And it was kind of freakish. I remember people would ask me, well, why is your mom white? And so then there was that whole thing with Granny, because she didn't accept me, and she denied that black part of me. And so, yeah, and then I remember another student in 5th grade, he was another one like me, he had a white mom. And so it was just kind of a freakish thing back then.
And she told you, what did she say, like, whenever people would ask?
So, yeah, that's kind of crazy. But her answer to that, why I was darker than the rest of my family, was because I had an allergy to citrus. And so if I ate oranges or lemons or anything like that, then that was what made me darker. And then another story she told me was that when I was born, I was sick, and I had to stay in the hospital for a month, and that the doctor had given me a shot in my color gland. And he messed up and messed my color up. And so, but this was the story that I went into the world telling. Like, when people would ask me at school, why was I black and my mom was white, I would give them either one of those stories. Oh, well, I'm allergic to citrus, and, or I am, doctor. And there was a neighbor across the street, this little precocious white girl, and we made friends. And I told her that, she asked me the same question, it's like, what are you doing in this family?
Yeah.
And so I told her that story, and she was like, that's not true. Mm-hmm. And that was the first time I ever heard that that wasn't true. And it made me start questioning. Like, you know.
How old are you?
Oh, gosh. When I met her, I was probably 8.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that was really young.
8 or 9. Mm-hmm. And she was older. She was like 11.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, that's not true. There's no such thing as a color gland. You know,
she knows her stuff.
I was like, what? Really? And so, you know, it just kind of, and I kept that. I kept that to myself and questioned that secretly.
Yeah. And then what are your siblings?
My mother was married prior to my father. And she was married to a Mexican man. And so my siblings are half white and half Mexican. So I grew up with 2 brothers and my mom, and then the father that raised me was this ambiguous type person that I thought, you know, okay, this is who I look like. But he had the same color skin, but he worked out in the sun, you know, and so...
He's one of those whites that could tan.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I thought, okay, this is my dad, this is who I look like. But, you know, fast forward to after my mom passes away when I'm 50 years old, I find out that I take an ancestry test. And I find out that I belong to a pastor that my mom used to go visit for spiritual counseling. And
it's not a whole lot of counseling going on
I used
here,
to
guys.
hear that name, you know, a lot as a child, and I just thought that, okay, this is a somebody she's going to for spiritual counseling. But it turns out that was my actual biological father. So I find this out at 50. And I actually find out my ethnicity. So he was black. And I think like I'm 30% Nigerian, according to the ancestry. So I find that out. But yeah.
Beautiful.
So that song, it really hit home. Just always being on the outside. I was on the outside my entire life with that.
Beautiful. Shout out Mariah Carey. You don't know how much that song. Shout out to all the artists, actually. You don't know how much your songs are really hitting people.
Definitely.
Really hitting them, you know, in their heart, spirit, carrying through childhood and, you know, all of those things. So yeah. Alrighty. Let's get another one going. So we've got Whitney Houston, self-titled album.
Perfect. Oh my gosh. So Whitney Houston, again, I had nobody that looked like me. And I was tall and I was thin. And, you know, my brothers used to call me olive oil or bean pole or, you know, that kind of stuff, chicken legs. And, you know,
I got them.
Shout out to chicken legs.
Shout out to chicken legs. Shout out to you for giving me the chicken legs.
But when Whitney came out, and so my mom always made me feel as though I was just the blackest, ugliest thing ever. You know, like my hair was matted. That's the way she referenced my hair. You know, I was dark, so she would put bleaching creams and things like that on me.
Wow.
And so, oh my God, I don't want to get emotional. But
it's okay.
When I saw Whitney, I thought, gosh, she's so pretty and she's tall and thin like me. And one day I'll grow up and be pretty like her. So she's very important to me. And when she, that song, you know, I would see her videos And I would think, gosh, I couldn't wait till I grew up to be pretty like her. She was tall and skinny, but everybody just, celebrated her, and she was talented, and I wanted to sing too when I was little, and so I would sing her songs. But yeah, she was like a big sister to me, virtually. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, you are beautiful.
I did grow up to be beautiful. Yeah. But she was that. She was like my big sister, or like a role model. Yeah. And then she came out with The Greatest Love of All. And that song was on that album. Yeah. And it's like she was just talking about how she learned to love herself. Yeah. And I carried that song with me my whole life. I learned that is the greatest love of all, to love yourself. Yeah. So yeah.
Wow, beautiful. I'm fighting tears myself. Yeah, absolutely. Alrighty. Let's get on to the next one. Jesus Loves Me. Eastwood Baptist School.
That's another one. So yes, I went to a Baptist school. It was like Southern White Baptist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so and it was a little down the street from our house, and I got God there, but that song was so important to me, and I would just backwards. My biological dad, I found out, was a pastor. Well, yeah, it was a pastor. So I always had that. I guess that was just in my blood. Yeah. My call to church, and so I used to minister to my little cats and dogs when I was little. And on with Sundays, right? And Sundays I would sit on the back steps with my Bible and read Psalms. Psalms 23 was my sermon every Sunday. And so that song, that was my song. I would sing, and it was like growing up or being an adult now, I realized like just singing that song repeatedly, I believed that. I believed that Jesus loved me. And so I would go in the backyard and I'd sing that to my animals. I'd sing that just in nature. And it was like I was just telling myself that, yes, these people may not love me, but Jesus loves me.
Ooh. Yeah. Yes. And then you said your dad was a pastor. What's biological? Your biological father is a pastor. What's like the story behind him? Did he teach here in Houston?
He did. He had a church somewhere in 5th Ward, evidently.
Shout out 5th Ward.
My mother used to go to him for spiritual counseling, and I'm still learning stuff about him. I found a brother in finding my biological family. So, and we are like twins. We're just so much alike. But yeah, and finally I found somebody who was like me. It's like my siblings were nothing, the ones I was raised with were nothing like me. Yeah. But this one is like, he's artsy, he's, into theater and sings and all of this stuff. And it's like, finally, know. But yeah, my biological father had a church here somewhere in 5th Ward. And yeah, he spoke Spanish.
He spoke Spanish?
He spoke Spanish. I'm still just trying
Didn't he have one in Mexico?
He did. Well, the story with him is that he was on his way home and he drove a really fancy car, and the Klan stopped him. And they were harassing him, and there was some kind of altercation, one of the Klan's members got hurt, and so he had to flee. They were looking for him, and so his church members gave him money. They hid him, and he fled to Mexico.
Oh,
for years.
Jeez.
But this man was born in 1900.
That's crazy. Ooh, Granny
Yes.
was with an
was
old geezer.
He was 73 when I was born.
It's so crazy.
In 73. And so it's like he died in 1981. I had no chance of ever, like, I think maybe she might have taken me. I have a memory of going and visiting this elderly black man. I think maybe I might have seen him once. But he didn't, whoever it was, didn't interact with me like I was their kid or, you know.
Yeah.
But he was old. And so it puts me in a different age bracket my brother and I in different brackets, because like I have nephews that are like 75 or something, because he had children. You know, he had other kids way back then, and it's insane.
Yeah, that is pretty crazy.
It's a crazy story.
Pretty crazy. Alrighty. Oh, you're gonna like this. Prince, Little Red Corvette. It was a real challenge for her to put one Prince song, guys. This is the fan of all Prince fans. She has seen him in concert like 3 times. Yeah. Has dreams about him. Like, come on.
I have dreams of him in concert. Yeah.
Let's talk about Little Red Corvette.
Okay, so I was a huge Michael Jackson fan. And I loved Michael Jackson.
MJ or Prince?
I thought that I was going to marry him, and, you know, this is Thriller Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
And I thought I was going to marry him, and I was watching, my brother had cable. And so I was upstairs in our garage. We had a garage apartment behind our house.
Yeah.
And my brother and his wife stayed up there. And so I was watching MTV, and I was talking to my sister-in-law about Michael Jackson. She was like, well, why do you like him? Why don't you like this guy? This guy is cool. And it was Little Red Corvette was on the video on MTV. And I was like, oh, this guy has heels on. What are you talking about?
He got his booty cheeks out.
He was spinning around on the stage, and I was like,
Yeah.
But I don't know, subliminally or whatever, that just, I was hooked. And it was Prince from then on.
Oh, and in case you haven't noticed, she's actually wearing Prince earrings.
Wearing Prince earrings that I got in Minnesota from a girl, can I say her company?
Yeah, shout her out.
Spoon in Theory.
Spoon in Theory. Shout out Spoon in Theory in Minnesota.
Yes, she makes Prince earrings and other jewelry. And so, yeah, I bought them there. When I was there, I went for a wedding, and I actually booked a tour of Paisley Park.
Oh.
So,
That must have been crazy for you.
It was. I used the bathroom. I got to pee in Paisley Park. Yeah, it was
My
awesome.
pee is somewhere in Paisley Park.
It was awesome. Yeah.
That's fire. That's such a crazy memory. Prince on MTV.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so we've got Kenny Rogers, The Gambler. You gotta know when to hold 'em.
Exactly.
So
that song is special to me because my dad, which
not your biological
not
dad,
my biological
but
dad,
the one that raised
me. We used to sing together, and he had a tape recorder, and he put tapes in, and we would sing that song. We'd sing Lucille, You
picked the time to leave me, Lucille.
Yeah, and we would just sing together.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you listen to the lyrics, the way that the gambler dies in there is kind of similar to how my dad passed away. He just kind of faded off into sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, that song just reminds me of my dad. And anytime on his birthday, which is April 5th, or when he passed away, August 2nd, I'll sit and play that song and or whenever I'm missing him, I just sit and listen to the gambler. And there's just a message in that. I feel like, you got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, and know when to run.
So true.
And I feel like, my dad was teaching me something. And then we used to play poker. My dad taught me how to play poker.
How old were you playing poker?
I was a little kid, like 7, 8 years old, and we would sit and he taught me how to play poker.
He
I don't remember
he taught
now.
you how to fold them.
Exactly. He taught me how to play poker, and we would sit and play poker in the living room.
That's so funny.
And then we would record the song and sing, So yeah,
that's so cute. Alrighty, so we've got The Cure, Pictures of You.
Another teardrop.
I'm about to cry in this one too, actually.
No.
Do you want to wait for this one?
No, I can do it. Oh, geez.
We might both cry, guys.
I don't know how much of this story to tell. This band is my best friend's favorite band. I just lost him in May 26th. Hasn't even been a year. Oh my goodness. So this song kind of has double meanings because when I lost my mom, one of the things in my grief was like I couldn't hear any music with words. I didn't want to hear any words. And so I remember going into the department store when we went to go buy your dress that you were going to wear. We were going to buy her dress for the funeral, for her to be buried in. I remember I went in and this song started playing on the overhead, and I just remember running out of the store. I ran out of whatever store it was, and I was like, God, I couldn't hear it because I knew from the moment it started, and it was these pictures of you, and I had to gather these pictures for them to put in, the little video that they do for her funeral. And so it was like, I couldn't hear it, and I just bolted out of the store. And then this was my friend's favorite band, and when he passed away, I was just going through pictures of him, and I made a collage of him.
You didn't have that many pictures either.
And I didn't have that many pictures. We were friends for 25 years. And we didn't really have very many pictures together. We had one where he came to Mother's funeral, and we took one there. And it's like, gosh, I missed out on so many pictures because we had so many experiences together. And it's like, I wish I had more pictures of you, or pictures with you, But he had a stroke last March. And I had talked to him the day before he had the stroke. He was sick with like a cold or something. He was taking NyQuil or something like that, and he I don't know. Then I was on my way to work, and I get this call from his apartment manager, and she's like, "This is in regards to Robert Ford. He was rushed to the hospital. We think he had a stroke." And I was like frantic. I couldn't find him. They didn't know what hospital. I thought he was dead. It was like I called every hospital, and finally somebody told me if I had the address of his location where they picked him up, then the ambulance people could tell me where they took him. So I finally found him. He was alive, and I notified his sister, but he was not the same.
Yeah.
My friend was gone. That last conversation that I had with him was the last time I ever got to talk to my friend.
Yeah.
He couldn't, his face was distorted. He couldn't eat. He had to have a feeding tube. He was able to walk around, and you would think that he was, understanding stuff, but his personality, I knew, was gone. And then that was in March, and then he passed away that following May. And so, but when he was in the hospital, I used to play that song, and I'd play it on the way to work. I'd play it, just in the house, and I would try to send him all of my best energy and prayers, and I'd sing it as loud as I could, trying to send him all the love and healing that I could. So that song is, and I play it. And so when I did my collage, I printed out the lyrics, and I have that as my background. That was the base of my collage, was the words, the lyrics to that song. This is such a crying session.
We love to cry here. I'm a big crybaby too, so yeah. But we love you, Robert. If you're listening to us,
of course he is.
Actually, just to interject super quickly, my song for Robert is what is the song called? Real Girls Get Down on the Floor. Okay, so when we were little, he used to sing this song all the time. He'd be like, "Real girls get down on the floor." And guys, this was like a 6 foot plus, hefty sized man, and he would get down on the floor like a real girl. But alrighty. So next one. Eric Satie, is it Satie?
Satie.
Eric Satie.
Gymnopodie #1.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you.
I think that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, this is another tearjerker.
we could be crying for like 2 hours.
It's my fault. I made the list. That song reminds me of my dad, the one that raised me. Oh gosh. So this is a classical song. And if you listen to it, it has this haunting like piano, this dum 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 dum, and that's a consistent melody in the background. But then it starts this pretty harmony, of other notes. Yeah. And so when I heard that song for the first time, I immediately thought of my father and the day that he taught me how to ride a bike with no hands. My neighbor had given us this bike that belonged to her son. It was this big, old school metal bike. Yeah. And I had a Pink Panther bike that my dad had bought me with a banana seat. And his face was the seat. It's crazy.
Kind of weird.
I know, right? But anyway, and so my dad, he was like, he was sick. He had heart trouble, and he had his first heart attack when I was in first grade, and then it just really damaged his heart. He was very fragile. Like, we had to be careful of like how we woke him up. We couldn't startle him because he could have a heart attack, and it was like we just walked on eggshells. And then he got, when I was in 4th grade, he got diagnosed with lung cancer.
Yeah.
And so, so he could have surgery for the lung cancer, but he couldn't because his heart was too weak and he would have died on the table. But the lung cancer was progressing and it would kill him. So he was like stuck. There was nothing. He just had to die, basically. And so, you know, and to me, those things, when I hear that song, that was that haunting melody that was present in that song. And then, you know, but he still, in all of that, sang with me. He played with me. We played poker, you know, I would do my magic routines. I had magic books and he was my audience, you know. And one day he's like, I'm going to teach you how to ride a bike with no hands. And he gets that old bike and I'm riding alongside of him. And he was this great big guy and he wore Dickie overalls.
She got the Dickies on.
I always keep a pair of Dickie overalls for him. And he wore Dickie overalls because he did carpentry work a lot around the house.
He built the garage apartment?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so he always had Dickie overalls and a white V-neck t-shirt on underneath. So I always keep a pair of Dickie overalls for him. And so but he's riding this bike with these Dickie overalls and he's got his hands on his knees and he's not saying anything to me. He just gets on this bike and he's just riding it with no hands. And I'm following him, and mind you, he's fragile, you know, in his health, like his heart. He could have a heart attack doing that, but he wanted to show me that. And then we get to the end of the block and I think, okay, he's gonna stop, right? But he just leans over and he turns the corner with no hands. And then he straightens up and he keeps going and I'm like, wow, you know? And I don't know, just as an adult, I'm looking back on that and thinking like the lesson in that. It's like, you know, you can do this, you can ride the bike with, you know, you can ride this out with no hands if you have to. And you hit a corner, you just lean into it. And, you know, it was amazing to me, just that day. And so when I hear that song, I hear that haunting, you know, he knew he was going to die because they told him he was diagnosed in July with lung cancer and that he wouldn't live to see Christmas. And he died that August. He died before. But he took the time out to teach me how to ride a bike with no hands.
Wow.
Yeah. So I hear that and it's you know, it's bittersweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of tears today.
Of course, I'm sorry.
No, they're good.
The songs.
They're good tears though. Man, yeah. But it's such beautiful. Yeah, that's beautiful. Couldn't imagine being an adult and like teaching your child something while you're going through so much.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and he was young. He was only 51, and I'm 53. And I look at that as like, oh my God, you know, I'm not ready to die.
Yeah.
And he wasn't. He was a young man. You know, it's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And yeah, my mom used to say that he would sit on the porch, and he didn't show any of that to me or to us, but he would sit on the porch at night and cry and be like, I'm not ready. I can't leave her, because I was little. I was 10. He was like, I can't, 9 or 10, and he was like, I can't leave her. I can't. I'm not ready to go yet. I'm not ready to go. but he never showed any of that to me. Instead, you know, it was just teaching me how to play poker and, you know, how to ride a bike with no hands and how to cut a corner.
Wow. Beautiful. Now, when I saw this, I was like, no way. Cheap Trick.
Ah, shit.
This I know the story behind this one, and it goes with exactly what we're talking about. This one actually stuck to my finger. I saw that I picked it, and I was trying to pick another one because, you know, we've been crying already. But yeah, Cheap Trick, If You Want My Love.
Oh my gosh. So back to my dad.
If you want my love,
you got it. If you need my love, you got it. I won't hide it. I won't throw your love away. I think that's the lyrics. So, back to my father and the day he passed away. Oh gosh. Okay, I'm just going to tell the story.
Yeah, just that scene.
So my mom had left the house. She went to check on an elderly neighbor, and she left me home with my dad. I was 10. This was the summer going into 5th grade. And he had been, so my dad was diagnosed with this lung cancer. He was in hospital in Galveston. And they gave him a 2-week leave. He tricked them into giving him a 2-week leave to come home to settle his affairs.
Yeah.
And I remember him telling me, and I don't know why he told me this, but he said, I'm going to die within these 2 weeks. He said, I don't want to die in the hospital, I want to die at home. And it's me and my dad, we were 2 peas in a pod. We were just always, I sat up at night watching wrestling with him. You know, we were just always together. Johnny Carson, all of that. And so he said, I don't want to die in the hospital. I want to die at home. I'm going to die within these 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And so he came home, and I guess he was, of course, scared. I don't know. But he was like having trouble sleeping and all of this stuff, and he was up, and my mother and I used to take turns at night with him, like sitting up with him. And she left one morning to go check on this elderly neighbor across the street, and she was like, okay, you know, can you sit with him, and if you can get him to sleep, fine. And so I sat with him, and he ended up having a heart attack with me while I was like putting this pillow under his head. I didn't know. I thought he was asleep. And I remember him telling me, he was like, I'm so sorry you have to see me this way. That was like the last thing he said to me. And I was like, it's okay, Daddy. You know, and I was wiping his head. I put this washcloth in the freezer. And I was wiping because he was sweating, and I didn't know he was having a heart attack. And he passed away, and I thought he was asleep. And so Granny comes home, my mom comes home, and she looks at me, and I said, well, I finally got Daddy to sleep, you know? And I thought I had done this great thing. And she looks at me, and it's just I'll never forget the look on her face. It's like she knew. And she went into the bedroom, and she shook his legs, and he didn't respond. And then she turns him over, and I saw his face, because I'm standing with her. Look, you know, like I was proud. I wanted her to see what I did. I put him to sleep, and I'll never forget, you know, the look on his face. And I knew, just as a little kid, that something was not right there. And so she sends me on. And at the time, we had this tenant that was a paramedic, of all things. He was going to school to be a paramedic. And she runs in and gets him. Mind you, my dad was this huge, over 6 feet guy, heavy set, just this big guy. And Granny, she was like what, 5'6", 5'7"?
Yeah.
She grabs him and pulls him off the bed onto the floor. It was that adrenaline, and she pulls him off onto the floor like nothing. And she runs in and goes and gets this. Tommy was his name. She goes and gets him, and he comes in, and there's chaos, and he's telling me, get out of here, get out of here.
Yeah.
And so I run, and my brother is back there with his wife, and I run upstairs, and I go and I get her, or I knock on the door, and I'm telling him, all I could say was, Daddy's dying. Daddy's dying, Daddy's dying, and I'm waking them up. It's early in the morning. This is like 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like screaming, pounding at the door, Daddy's dying, Daddy's dying. And he runs downstairs, and I'm upstairs left with my sister-in-law. And she sits me down and gives me a bowl of cereal. And MTV is playing on TV.
Yeah.
And after a while, she tells me why. She told me, don't look out the window. And I look out the window, and I see them taking my dad in a stretcher and putting him into, I think it was the hearse. And he was covered. And I really didn't know what that meant, but his face was covered, and that song was on MTV. That video was playing on MTV.
Wow.
Cheap Trick, If You Want My Love. And so I remember that looking out, I pull the curtains back, and I look out, and I see them wheeling my dad off, and I hear that song. So that's another song, like when his anniversary comes around, I play that song. And then when I listen to the lyrics, I feel like some of that is like him talking to me, if you want my love, it's always here. Because he was my only, aside from my pets, source of love in my family. And so I felt like, you're crying and I'm not. It's not scary. Just kidding. But I felt like, and I thought I would bawl at this one. But I felt like, he was telling me, if you want my love, you got it. If you need my love, you got it. And he's not going to hide it from me, and he won't throw my love away. And so, I listen to that also when I miss him. On his birthday and anniversary, and just any time I'll blast that song. Nights with Wine, yeah. Shout out to Wine.
Because I keep saying shout out to everything. Yeah, honestly. Whew.
But that's my song.
That's beautiful.
That's my memory for that.
I love that song too.
Yeah.
Alrighty. What's up for a happy one, guys?
Oh God. I don't know that I put any. Yes, I do, but I guess they're all at the bottom of the bowl.
It's okay. No, it's good to get the emotions out. Like, Tracy Chapman, All That You Have Is Your Soul.
Okay, so this one reminds me of my mother. Tracy, she liked this song.
And just so you know, guys, like, my grandma was strictly country, 97.1 Country Legends Radio, Conway Twitty, Loretta Lynn, this is kind of like out of her realm of music, but she liked this one.
Yeah, and for some reason, I wasn't a big fan of Tracy Chapman, but for some reason I had this song, or this cassette. Maybe somebody had given it to me or something, but this song, I actually liked this song, and I would play it, and my mom heard this song, but the lyrics are just talking about a woman who had, I guess she was giving life advice to either her daughter or you know, somebody younger about how she had married a man who stole her heart away, and what a high price to pay. And she was, in the lyrics, she says, all that you have is your soul. Don't be tempted by the shiny apple. Don't eat of a bitter fruit. Only hunger for the taste of justice. Only hunger for the truth. Because all that you have is your soul. And so, I don't know. I feel like she was giving me, you know, advice through that, based on her experiences with love. Because she had a very bad record. Yes. With love. And so, yeah. And she kind of gave her soul away more than once.
For the shiny fruit?
Yeah, she got tempted by the shiny apple.
Shiny apple, yeah. That she did. Alrighty, so next one is Michael Jackson, Thriller.
Oh my God, that whole album. So again, I was going to marry Michael Jackson.
Yes, this was in the works.
This was in the works.
And you were how old at the time?
I was like, what, 8, 9?
Yeah.
And so, gosh, you know, back then we had like the National Enquirer, all these tabloids, and he was always on the cover of these tabloids. You know, he's an alien, or, you know, he was
an alien.
Yeah, he was caught eating dinner with aliens, or, you know, it was just crazy. That was the crazy headlines of these tabloids back then. And so, of course, my granny used to always buy these tabloids, and she'd read these stories. But I got pictures of him because you know, we didn't have the internet and stuff back then, so you depended on magazines and stuff for, you know, photos of your celebrities.
Yeah.
And so I had like every tabloid with his face on it. I had a collection of them. I wish I could find them now. But yeah, and that was my first cassette tape, because you know, I grew up with vinyl and 8 tracks.
Yeah.
And then this was my first cassette tape that my mom had bought me, was Thriller. And I loved it. I listened to it repeatedly. I knew every song, everything. And then when Thriller came on TV, like it was a big deal. Yeah. You know, for a Thriller to debut on TV. And it's like, oh my God, that was
darkness falls.
Yes, that was crazy. And one bad thing that I did with that song was I had the same recorder that I used to sing with my dad. Yeah, I put that cassette tape in there, and I used to roller skate. I was on skates all the time, and there was this elderly lady across the street that my mom used to tend to.
Oh Lord.
And so she would always yell at us she had the best driveway, though. It was like wide and smooth, and it was the best driveway to skate down and skate into the street. Yeah. And so she was always yelling at us, get out of my driveway. So my friend and I, we get this recorder, and we put Thriller, and we key it up to that part. And we knock on her door, and we hide it in the bushes.
Oh my God.
And so she comes out, and we're playing this. We're trying to scare her. Yeah. Because she was so mean. She wouldn't let us skate in her driveway. But yeah, that's one of my memories with the Thriller album.
That is so funny. Who knew my mom was a bad kid?
I know, kid stuff.
Yeah. Alrighty. So next one we have is Sylvia, Nobody. Jeez. Ooh, I was jamming this song this morning. Jamming the heck out of it. This morning? Yes, because you made me remember it.
So that song, oh my goodness. So when I was little, I used to sing, and that's what I wanted to do, was sing. Yeah. And I used to always, I had a little red rocking chair that I'd pull out in the yard and just sit and rock and sing, or on my swing set and sing. And that song And it's such a grown-up song. It's about infidelity, a man cheating on a woman, and she's telling him, well, you're nobody called today. She hung up when I asked her name, you know, because his answer was always, oh, that's nobody, that's nobody, you know. And so I used to sing that song all the time. And my neighbors, and I was a little kid, mind you, singing this grown-up song, but my neighbors used to call the house and have me sing it to them. Or when they had company, they would call and have me sing to them.
Wow, you were on tour.
I should have charged. But yeah, I used to sing to my neighbors all the time, on the phone or in person, you know, but that was one of the songs I used to sing, was this nobody, or you're nobody called today.
Nobody called today. The way that the song is set up is actually so genius, because like you said earlier, it's like, it starts off with the woman saying like, oh, you know, I asked you about this girl and you said, oh, that's nobody. Yeah. And then she's like, well, you're nobody called today.
They're sitting in a restaurant. Yeah. She walks by. I seem to recall that old look in your eye. I said, who's that? You said with a smile, oh, it's nobody.
Nobody.
Just nobody.
She's like, okay, I got you, nobody.
Exactly. And so, yeah, I used to sing it. But I think somehow as a little kid, like that made sense to me. I think because, you know, my parents, I was witness to adult situations. And so I had an understanding of the meaning of that song, you know, whereas other little kids wouldn't. So I guess that's why I latched on to that.
I love that. Alrighty. Ooh. Rod Stewart, Blondes Have More Fun. This is a good one.
Is that the last one?
Yeah. That's a good one to end it on.
Again, as a kid singing inappropriate songs. Rod Stewart. So my brothers, they had this big boom box that played 8 tracks. And I would take this and plug it up and pull it out into the backyard and sit on my little red rocking chair. And one of the 8 tracks that they had was The Blondes Have More Fun from Rod Stewart. And this song, one of the main songs on there was, Do You Think I'm Sexy?
If you think I'm sexy.
If you want my body and think I'm sexy, come on, let me know.
And how old were you again?
Oh my God. Like 8, 9, I don't know when that song, because that song came out in the 70s. So.
Just think of an 8 to 9 year old just singing
7,
If You
8
Think I'm
years
Sexy.
old singing this, you know, inappropriate song. But I was in the backyard and I knew the entire album.
Dang.
And then another song on there was Ain't Love a Bitch. And so I would sing that, and I'm in, you know, and my neighbor, I was sandwiched in between 2 neighbors. One of them was a school teacher, and she played piano or organ in the church. And she always had like her kitchen window cracked open, you know, and I'm out there belting out Ain't Love a Bitch and, you know, If You Think I'm Sexy. And then my other neighbors were this couple, you know, older couple. And so I actually used to sing to him a lot. I wouldn't sing those songs. I'd sing church songs to him on my
Psalms
swing.
23.
Yeah, Psalms 23 and Jesus Loves Me. When I was sitting on my swing. But yeah, in the confines of my little driveway there, I was belting out Rod Stewart's If You Think I'm Sexy and Ain't Love a Bitch.
She was on tour at 8 to 9 years old. She was performing over the phone in the backyard. She was a pastor at 8 years old.
To my pets.
To her pets. She's been around the world.
All before 10.
All before 10. And what are you guys doing?
Right.
But yes, thank you so much, Mother, for coming on. I absolutely had the best time. The tears, the laughs, everything. I loved it. And thank you so much for sharing yourself with us today and sharing your music. and putting us on to some good music. Please go check out those albums. And keep a lookout because she's got some exciting stuff coming soon. But yes, Cherye Altice. Peace. Bye. That was so good.
Oh my God.
You did so good, Monday. I loved it.
Encore.
Yes.
Well, I would like